So as you know, there are 7 chakras and 3 channels, and also Kundalini residing in our sacrum bone. And Kundalini power is the residual motherly energy within us. It rises through the spine, opening each chakra above, and then finally it reaches to the Sahasrara Chakra at the 7th chakra at the top of our head. And the Sahasrara means 1,000 petals. So it's literally looks like 1,000 petals if you see the illustration. And the location is at the top of the head, and actually it corresponds to the limbic system within our brain, which caters for the energy to balance the central nervous system. For instance, sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So it balances and integrates all the chakras, all the qualities within us, and it becomes cohesive. And this is where we meet the greater power also. And this is where we become one with that power. We call it the Parama Chaitanya. Param Chaitanya means the power, and Param means the greater power. So it's a greater power, it's all-pervading power surrounding us, and it's the power which is taking care of all the living beings, all the biospheres, all the ecological system, and we become one with that universal power by the power of Kundalini. And that union is called yoga. And this is the place, the Sahasrara Chakra is the place where it happens. So it's at the end of, at the top of our head. And if you can see, in hands, it's at the center of the palm. And in feet, also it's the center of the back of the feet. So let's go to the next slide. Yes. Like any other chakras, we have left, right, and central aspects of this chakra too. So left aspect of Sahasrara is passive side of this yoga. So Mother, thank you for giving me this self-realization. We express the emotional side. And the right Sahasrara is Mother, by your grace I am protected and will be victorious over all the challenges to my ascent. So this is more like proactive side of this connection. If you feel connected, you feel like asserting this gratitude and also the confidence. And then central Sahasrara of the we can use this Mother, please establish my self-realization. This is the sincere prayer to get the yoga, the union with the divine. Please establish my connection with the divine. So these are 3 different aspects of this chakra. And by this prayer, by this affirmation technique, we can strengthen, we can put attention on a particular side and strengthen it. So let's go to the other slide. So there are colors, planet, quality, organs, and diseases. You can see this color is all the colors, and all the colors when it's mixed, all the spectrum of the color when it's mixed, it becomes white. So the all color means white, you can see. And planet and day and stone is Pluto, Monday, and Paul. I think the Pluto and the moon also at the same time. And Monday is the day of Sahasrara, and Paul is the stone of the Sahasrara Chakra. So we can understand all these astrological meaning gradually, I think later. And qualities, as I said, it's an integration and self-realization. So when you are connected to the main, we each of us is like a terminal, and when we can connect to the host, the greater consciousness, then we can gain the meaning of our individual self, actually, and we started to be realizing ourselves. And thoughtless awareness follows spontaneously because we feel that we are completely one and everything is just like, the flow. And we just enjoy, we'll be in the pure joy of union, the yoga. Organ is limbic area or limbic system. This is where the parasympathetic and all these nervous system is controlled. And when it's not working proper, then all incurable diseases tend to happen actually. So it's very much to do with our homeostasis as a living being. We have an innate curing system. We have innate defense system. But when this part is not working properly, then we cannot activate, we cannot utilize all these innate system within us. But of course, by Kundalini awakening, when we are connected to the main, all these chakras are sort of nourished and start functioning much better. And there is a quote of Sri Mataji, our teacher, at the below. Once you start growing in your self-realization, you develop such a personality that you see the whole world as one. So this oneness, we sometimes call it ekakarika. This oneness is the fruit of yoga. We become one with all pervading power of love, of divine love, and then we feel completely dived into it, and we start enjoying that blissful state. It's a state of mind, actually. It's a state of consciousness. So it's nothing like we try to understand mentally or we try to manipulate mentally. It's not a mental exercise. It is a state of mind that we achieve, and it's a silence. And in that silence, innate quality of each chakra, the below chakra, there are 6 chakras, main 6 chakras, and it has its own qualities and colors and taste and styles. It manifests spontaneously in a very organized and integrated way. Yeah, there are 6 centers below along the spine. You must have gone through it already. And if you can see the color of Sahasrara, as we said, it's all colors. So its all colors are reflected above our head. For instance, Muladhara chakra, which is the first chakra at the base of the spine, is orange color. And then there are orange color manifested at the Sahasrara, at the top of the head. So all the potential of the individual can manifest spontaneously by the power of Kundalini, by the power of Mother Nature. It can manifest when the time is right. So let's go to the next slide.
Yeah, Hitoshi. And I think what we can do is, I think everybody here is very tenured, and I think everybody knows how to raise Kundalini, take Bandhan. So I think I just realized that before we get into listening to Srimataji's speech, it will be really nice if you can, like we can raise Kundalini, take Bandhan, and you can help us to balance ourselves a bit,
right.
and we can enjoy the speech of Srimataji.
Sure, that's a really good idea. So this is the real practice of going to the state of Sahasrara. So let's raise our Kundalini by putting ourselves abandon. We can raise our Kundalini first. Just like this, as you know. And we can try to do it 3 times. Then let's make Bandhan around us. We can keep our attention about our head after Sahasrara. And we can check if we can feel the cool flow of the Kundalini. Sometimes we can feel as a cooling sensation, like a gentle flow of the cool breeze. Very soothing and calming. And we can leave our attention around the place where we are feeling the coolness. Even if you don't feel cool, it's okay. We can keep our attention above our head at the Sahasrara, where we are connected, where we are one with this all-pervading power. And let us leave our attention here and put back our hands back on our lap. And let us listen to Shrimataji's talk about the Sahasrara Chakra.
Years back, 30 years back, when Sahasrara was open, I found darkness all over. People were so ignorant. They had no awareness what they have to find. Of course, I found they wanted to find something that was unknown. But they did not know what was unknown, what they have to find. And they were extremely ignorant people about themselves and about their surroundings and about the aim of their life. I didn't know how to start the topic with them. When Sahasrara was opened, I thought of trying self-realization only on one lady. She was an old lady, and there was another lady who also started Kava. This old lady got a realization, and then the another lady was much younger. She told me that she gets fits and she gets possessed. Oh my God. I said, how will I give her realization? But somehow she got cured very fast. And she also got her realization. It's a very unknown knowledge. Also, human beings in their ego do not want to accept that they are not yet complete, that they have to have their realization. Also, their style of life was such that they had no time for themselves. I found it very difficult to convince people that you must take your self-realization. Because They thought it is something imaginary. It is very far-fetched. And they only believed in gurus who would say, all right, do this much of ritual, karma kand. That's all. And they were doing all kinds of rituals with the kind guidance of their gurus, without knowing that you have to first know yourself, which is said by all the great incarnations, all the saints, clearly. It is not that it was only my idea that people should get their self-realization, but it was the idea of all those people. They said one after another for centuries that seek yourself. Even Christ said, know thyself. Muhammad Sahib said the same. Nanak Sahib said the same. But nobody tried to know that these rituals are not the end of life. They will not serve the purpose, and that you have to have realization. So those two ladies only got realization. And with that, I thought, let's go to the seashore. And about 30 people came with me. And they were talking in a very funny manner as to how they can get self-realization. They don't deserve it. They have not been very good people, all kinds of things, condemning themselves. And in that lot, I got about 12 people altogether, inclusive of these two ladies who got realization. This is a sign that the movement of knowing yourself is very, very slow. And people don't understand why should they know themselves. I was quite disappointed because nobody understood me. But one day it so happened that in one of the programs, one lady came. She was possessed. And she started talking in Sanskrit language. She was just a maid servant. And everybody was surprised. And she said, you don't know who she is. And then she started describing me from the Saundarya Lahari. I was wondering what's the matter with this lady. Like a man she spoke. Her voice was like a man. People may believe it or not, but she was very possessed. And then they started asking her. And then they came and asked me whether what she's saying is true. I said, you should find out yourself. Because those days people were such that if you tell them anything like that, they would turn their faces. Only the kind of false gurus who would say, all right, you give me 5 rupees. They'll be very happy that you can purchase the guru now. You don't have to bother about anything. You don't have to do anything. So with that, gradually, it started working out. And I remember that these people who got realization asked me that, Mother, you allow us to do Durga Puja. Durga Puja was regarded as something very difficult. And the Brahmins were normally not ready to do it because they were not realized souls. So they used to get into fits and into all kinds of problems. So they called the Brahmins, 7 of them, and told them, you just don't worry. Nothing will happen to you because now you are facing the reality. It's not some sort of a murti puja or anything. It's a human being. They were quite frightened. They came down. But something happened to them. With great confidence, they started all the mantras, everything. And the vibration started flowing everywhere. Even we were very close to the sea. I found the sea was roaring. But people didn't understand. Except for these 7 people, they said nothing happened to us. We did everything so well. I think that was the first miracle also. See, the trouble with human mind at this level or at this time is that they have too much of self-importance. And they think no end of themselves. So already they think we are great. What is there to know ourselves? We know ourselves very well. So the basic seeking power is humility. If you think you know everything, you cannot humble down and you cannot seek. Even if you seek, they don't want to follow anybody's path. They say, we have our own path, we'll follow our own path. We'll do whatever we want to do. And like this, I faced many people in different countries who just came to listen to my lecture, that's all. But they wouldn't take realization. And some of them did take realization, did. They got it, but they got it lost. Somehow, this was such a funny story for me that I am giving them realization. I am taking no money for it, nothing. I used to travel on my own. But despite that, why is it that the people don't realize the value of self-realization? Then a gentleman who got realization in the first lot, he told me, today is a consumer society, as they call it, whatever it is, that unless and until you take money from them, they will never value it. Let them feel that we have paid for it, for our realization. So at the gate only you should keep somebody to take money, otherwise they will not take it. I said, but you cannot sell it, it's falsehood. You cannot sell self-realization to people. He said, then, you see, you won't be successful. With other gurus, this is the main thing, is that they just accept the money. Even they tell them, people bring so much money, do this much, there is a fees. And that's how only the ego is satisfied and people take to false people. This falsehood, they may realize later on because they suffer a lot with all kinds of physical, mental problems. But by that time, they are gone cases. Now this Sahasrara has not been yet described in any one of the books, though they have talked about it. In our ancient books in India also, they have talked about Sahasrara, but nobody has described it except that it has 1,000 petals. At least if they had mentioned something about it, would have been easier for me to show that, see, this is written in the book. Because people are like that. It has to be written in some book, and that only they accept. It's a very difficult situation. Because nobody had given a collective realization. So nobody had written to that extent except for 1 or 2 people who wrote clearly about Kundalini. But I wouldn't say it was so clear because it was all in poetry. So people would sing the songs, but they would not understand. But I was thinking how these people who are lost, here and there under some sort of a seeking, what will happen to them? And how will I be able to give them self-realization? Experiences were so horrid, but doesn't matter. I went on and on and on, and I worked it out. Of course, we met some people who were also very cruel and nasty, who troubled me and troubled Sajogis. All these things should have really dampened my enthusiasm. But on the contrary, I started thinking why people are like this. Then I realized one thing, that we cannot have the whole world to get self-realization. This is the last judgment. At this time, people have to decide what is the most important thing. They have to know themselves and understand what they have got. It's not just having a big number that will help us, but really solid Sajogis. Then I found there were people who got cured of many diseases, but most of them got lost. Some of them who were drug addicts gave up drug addiction. Drinking, they gave up. Smoking, they gave up. I never said a word that you give up this or give up that. I knew once the Kundalini rises, they will automatically give up. And it happened. And that's how people became so clean, so beautiful, and started enjoying their life. But nobody would believe them. When they went round and talked to people, they say, oh, you are gone mad. They couldn't believe how they have stopped drinking, how they are not smoking. They say, we want to drink. And what is this? See, so the identification I found of these people were mostly with the very loose type of enjoyment. They enjoyed very loose type of thing, which had nothing to do with the spirit. Gradually, of course, it started working out. But still, I must say that we can't expect in this Kali Yuga to have billions and billions of people in Sahaja Yoga. Though it's my desire, it's your desire, and you want them to get their self-realization, by which so many good things can happen. Firstly, your physical self improves. Many people have been cured. Christ cured only 21 people. I don't know how many thousands have been cured with Sahaja Yoga. Also, there's another very big problem with human beings, that they read all kinds of books and they have no clear-cut idea as to what they should find. What is their seeking? It's a very big problem. And whatever is in one book, they'll try to follow that. I mean, like they are shifting type of people. They shift from one to another. And then progress in Sahaja Yoga is much more difficult. Very difficult. Because if you are going on one path and you start shifting from one to another, you may go back. But in that they find it is their freedom. Actually, without realization, you don't have your freedom of anything. Freedom is that in which you know what you are, you know what you are capable of. In the freedom, you are the one who should receive all the blessings. If these blessings are not there, then you are not free. There's something wrong somewhere in your own life. Because once you get realization, you become absolutely free people. Free means your own spirit guides you. The spirit, as you know, is the reflection of the divine, the God Almighty. If everybody has the same reflection and is awakened, then in the awareness, it works as if they know what is right and what is wrong, what is constructive and what is destructive. It is not some sort of a false satisfaction that you have, but in reality you feel the reality, and that is what it has to happen. The first thing in Sahaja Yoga that you get the experience of feeling the spanda, the cool breeze on your fingertips. Without the experience, you should not believe in it. That means a new dimension has come now in your nerves, that you can feel the system which has been not known to you. Sympathetic nervous system was there, but you never knew how it is working. The knowledge about yourself was so poor. But after realization, suddenly the whole thing got enlightened. Suddenly you started feeling it, the newness among us. Still sometimes you have to fight your ego. You have to get over your ignorance of things. Because realization gives you absolute knowledge. Absolute knowledge. It cannot be challenged. It's single, as they say, ekameva satya. And when you get that knowledge, then you can tally it also. You can find out if it is correct or not. This is something that has happened to all of you. And you have already got those vibrations with which you can feel. For example, there may be some dissatisfied souls with Sahaja Yoga. But you can find out on vibrations who are those people, what are they doing. On vibrations you can make out if those people have reached that state of reality or not. You can make out if these people who are trying to oppose you or trying to tell you something else, how far are they? On your fingertips you know. This is what is Kiyama, about which Muhammad Sahib has said. The other day, I must tell you an experience where there was one fellow who came from the television, and known as Star. And he started asking me very funny questions, which had no relevance. His name was Abbas, so I said, Abbas Mia, you are wasting your time and my time. Will you come to the right questions? So he said, I am against all fundamentalism. But I am not fundamentalist. How do you know I am that or not? So he said, I'm trying to find out. All right. I said, you put your hands towards me. Now Muhammad Sahib has said, at the time of Qiyamah, your hands will speak. And you'll be amazed. Immediately he started feeling cool breeze on his hand. He said, what's happening to me? I said, that's what it is. No use arguing, no use talking about it, no use inquiring. Just see yourself the experiences. He just got so stunned. And after that, whatever he talked to me never published. So what I'm saying, if the people reach the truth, and they know this is the truth, nothing can change if they have reached the truth, I'm saying. You can see in the life of all the great people that they think this is the truth, not by just reading or not by just believing, but as an experience. That on their central nervous system, they can feel the truth, then it is impossible to change them. Like you can see a seed becomes a tree, then you cannot make the tree into a seed. Seed is a seed. But when the seed changes into a tree, then you cannot bring it back to the seed. It may create more seeds, it's different. So in the same way, once you have got your realization, and once you have become one with the divine, then there is no question of you going down unless until you yourself want to go down. It's very, very remarkable how you get this property, how you get this ability and this capability, and after that you don't lose it. Of course, first you must grow, and for that you have to meditate. But this meditation, once you do it, the whole being itself gets so enlightened and so beautiful that you don't want to change it. You want to be there and enjoy it forever. But of course you want to give it to others because you see you are enjoying so much. Like on the street you find somebody starving and you are very full, then you feel like giving food to that person. In the same way you see in this world, people are madly seeking, running up and down, doing all kinds of things. They want to tell them. They may believe or may not believe. They may try to sort of absolutely deny you, defy, also defile you. They can do anything. But you know for definite that you are on the right path, you are on the right state of mind, which is a sahaja state. In Sanskrit it is called sahaja avastha. Sahaja avastha. In sahaja avastha, you do not react. You do not react. You just see and appreciate. Now see, I came, I saw this beautiful, such an idea of Sahasrara.
So let us keep on meditating a little more. Just raise our Kundalini again above our head and let us feel the oneness with this all-pervading power, the connection. And let's pray within ourselves. Mother, thank you for giving us this self-realization. Thank you for guidance and protection in my journey. And please kindly give us the state of Sahaj Avastha. Let us stay in our meditation while we listen to music. Again, let us thank you. Let us thank Mother Kundalini. Mother, thank you for giving us this oneness. Thank you for allowing us to be one with this all-pervading power. Krishna Mataji. Now let us finish this meditation session for the moment. Again, we can raise our Kundalini at the last moment, and make a protection around us by putting ourselves bandhan. I hope you could have a nice meditation. Back to you, Amit.
Thank you very much for today's session. Any questions, everyone? I think we had a very beautiful speech, what we heard from Srimataji about once we are connected with the all-pervading power, after we cross our Sahasrara, and what benefits continuous meditation gives us. So anybody would like to add anything, what they got out of, like maybe a one-liner, what they understood from Srimataji's speech today?
Well, I have a question. It's not
Sure,
a
Don.
question. So the meditation in placing the attention at the top of the head, I've done other meditations where I would follow with my attention the Kundalini going up and down. And today I was just keeping the attention at the top of the head and could feel what I will call the Kundalini going up and down. And where it was not attended by me, it was flowing on its own. And I just kept staying up at the top of my head, and found out that that was very more effortless. And so I was wondering, when is our attention to be on the Kundalini going up and down, or just stabilized at the top of the head?
Should I answer, Amit?
Yes, please.
Yeah. It is advisable to keep the attention above the head here, because this is the destination of the Kundalini to come up, and the moving up of the Kundalini is a spontaneous thing, so it happens effortlessly. So whatever you have experienced is very, very natural, and what the Sahaja describes. So it's a spontaneous awakening of the Kundalini, and that leads to the union with the divine at the top of our head. That's what you have experienced. So it's a beautiful thing that you have experienced. You have gone through. That's great.
Thank you so much.
And Don, essentially that's what we all have to try to do throughout the day, throughout our routine, or being part of our life. Our attention should always be, on top of our Sahasrara. But there are situations, like when you're putting your attention on certain chakras, when you're feeling them, or you want to treat them, like when we have some affirmations on those chakras, there is some problem with those chakras. That's when you put your attention on those chakras. But once you're in a balanced state, you always have to keep your attention on top of Sahasrara. So both you have to use at the right time and at your discretion.
Thank you.
But
May I
thank you.
ask
Yes, please.
No, I just wanted to know that which chakra should be kept in more attention, or like pay more attention to which chakra, so that all the time we are in that state.
Hitoshi, you would like to start, please?
Yeah. As I said, the destination is Sahasrara, so we want the Kundalini to come here.
Mm-hmm.
But according to the state that we have, sometimes we feel the blockage on the particular chakra, or some sort of need to supplement the energy on the particular side. In that case, we will treat that particular part of our body, or a particular part of the energy, by using our willpower somehow. But that's a supplementation. Basically, everything will be done by the power of Kundalini, naturally, spontaneously. So when the flow is good, then everything follows. But we can support that natural process by our hands, or by our prayers, and so on. Is that okay?
Yeah, but I have a question. Like the main main chakras which blocks our energy, they are Manipura and Swadhisthana chakra, and then it affects other chakras.
No, it goes to the Sahasrara. It's like establish the connection first, and then when the connection is done, everything will be automatic. It comes back to the Manipura and Swadhisthana.
So, Veena, I think what you're asking is, for every human being, this system can be different. Okay, so as you highlighted, okay, it's Manipura or Nabhi chakra or Swadhisthana. For somebody else, it can be heart. For somebody, it can be Vishuddhi. If it can be Muladhara. So every individual is different because they live in a different environment. They have their own journey, like what they have traveled. So for everybody, it can be, a different chakra. Okay. So, but what we are trying to say is our ultimate goal is to be connected here because, and that's what Kundalini does. Kundalini, when it rises, okay, it cleans up all these chakras as a byproduct, and then it rises and again gets connected to the all-pervading power. So if you have to say focus, even if you will focus on top of your Sahasrara that you want Kundalini to be here, Kundalini will push. And in that process, it will clean up the chakras on the way. So yes, if you want a summary and a sweet and short answer, your attention should be on top of the Sahasrara.
Okay.
But sometimes you have to put extra attention if something is not clearing up. Like say you said, Swadhisthana or Nabhi, okay, then you may have to do foot soak, you may have to do some additional treatments. But yes, if you have to keep all day your attention, just see you are on top of the Sahasrara where you are in the realm of the divine, as you can see on the top.
That's really wonderful. Thank you. And it means that Mataji was saying that it cured a lot of diseases too, right? Like all.
Yeah, so as a side product, okay, when you're meditating, when Kundalini is cleaning up these chakras, okay, and these chakras are in good health, they also improve the organs around them. And as you can see, they from bottom to top, they almost cover our full body, right? So our energy centers are in good condition. As a side product, the body parts surrounding, they also start getting clear. But yes, for that regular meditation is very important. And if you can manage to keep your attention on top of your Sahasrara, we stay in a balanced state throughout the day, throughout the night.
Wow, that's wonderful. And that the one thing is that which I really admire, and it's really awesome that she made it so sahaj, so simple. Otherwise, people make it such a big issue out of it. You have to wake up your Kundalini, this and that, and yoga and all. So it's such a simple way to focus on
exactly. Exactly. I think you pointed it out very well. That's what Sri Mataji did on 5th of May, 1970, when she created this method of Sahaj Yoga, so that this knowledge can be given to thousands and thousands of people in one go. Before that, this method existed, but one guru in his lifetime will give this knowledge only to 1 or 2 people. So it was not common to everyone, but through Sahaj Yoga meditation, with a simple and pure desire, this can be extended. And now, as your Kundalini has also risen, you have been practicing Sahaj Yoga meditation, even you can help, like light another candle. I think we have JR on the call. What he does, like he keeps sharing this knowledge, into other groups, to other people that, okay, you can follow the meditation. And so it's like we have lit one candle, and now you are that candle, you can extend it and give it to more people. That's how simple Sri Mataji made it. Through
I wish we can give it to Putin, this one, or maybe Ukraine or Putin. That would have saved maybe people's life,
I think we will learn, like in our own way. We have our own discretion and understanding of the things.
It's amazing, actually, yeah. And more than that, like you guys do it so well in such a totally dedicated and devoted manner. without even charging anything. You must be having expenses of running this Zoom show and connecting people and so much work like behind the scene. So thank you to all of you. It's really amazing. I'm so happy to be part of it.
Thank you very much for this. And I think this is how this team becomes, you join us regularly, and I'm sure that, like down the line, you will help us contribute to spread further. And it's a global team, like across
Yes.
PJC, Americas, Europe. So you will see different volunteers every time.
So I'm so happy that on Saturday, Australia team comes. So this is my second Saturday or third Saturday with you guys.
Perfect.
Because you get so used to it now that it's like kind of sangat, satsang, you're together, and together we are always better, right?
Indeed. We have to be collective.
Yeah, it's a collective here. Thank you.
Thank you for asking those questions.
To summarize your question, you have all the chakras in your seventh energy center, the crown chakra.
Yeah.
So the energy center which you are placing on second or third, when you have placed your attention on the top of the your head on the Sahasrara, so it's taken care of all the lower energy centers.
Okay.
And it is the unison of all your inner being to the all pervading power. Okay.
That's it makes sense, because ultimately all of them, they meet there, then they go back down, right? So
yes, and
all the chakras meet there.
Yeah, and what Amit is sharing is, you said we are doing it because we felt the joy and we want to share this joy to others, because the more you share, the more you grow. That is the intention.
Exactly.
So that is what Amit is saying, that JR is spreading this so that people are happy, having this enjoyment.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Any more questions, regarding the daily meditation or foot soak for Hitoshi?
You're asking me the question, or?
No, I'm asking like if any questions for Hitoshi, like regarding the meditation.
Yeah,
And I have also posted the full link to Shrimataji's speech, what we heard today. I think it's a very powerful speech. You can listen, it's complete, it's 55 minutes, but we had to, limit to only some 26, 27 minutes because of the session limitation. But when you meditate at home, you can always play this speech of Shrimataji, and you will be surprised that every time you hear it, you will get to learn something new. With each and every speech of Shrimataji, because once we grow, we start understanding in a different way, in a better way. So please do listen to the speech of Shrimataji, the full speech of Shrimataji, and when you do your meditation.